I'm just sitting here in my studio and saw that someone made a comment on a video that I put up yesterday about ghosts in the head, the busy mind, the critical mind, the analytical mind, the incessant mind, the mind that just keeps going and going and going, seemingly directing us on what to do with our lives. Sometimes constructive, sometimes not so constructive, sometimes positive, sometimes not so positive. There seems to be sometimes someone who wants it to stop. So there is the one that wants it to stop, and that seems to be the one that is listening to it. So there's this battle that goes on between someone or something in the mind that wants there to be quiet or stillness, and another entity, noise, radio signal, whatever you want to call it. Buddhism calls it the monkey mind because it kind of behaves like a cage full of monkeys sometimes. That's a good way to describe it. So then there's this desire to want to try to stop it. That's where I got the inspiration for what became the podcast and what is my website, which is called A Quiet Mind. One day I was talking to a friend and I realized, if my mind was quiet, all my problems would be over. Because I had experienced many times having a quiet or peaceful mind, especially doing activities like playing the flute or hiking or sometimes woodworking or even yard work. There'd be these long moments where my mind would leave me alone because there were thoughts that I had that made my life miserable. There are a lot of self-deprecating thoughts, a lot of could've, would've, should've, or very critical, analytical voices. And so I thought, well, if my mind was quiet, then I would be at peace. And so began the journey to try to understand how can a person quiet the mind. So after looking into this for 25 years, I can definitely say a few things about it. So if you're interested, I'll continue. And please send me questions about this to robert@aquietmind.com. Maybe you can hear the mama cat in the background. I have mama cat here and 5 kittens. And a messy studio. The kittens are a lot of work. So why don't you send me some questions or put something here within the comments here on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're seeing this, and let me see if I can answer some of those questions. One thing that I want to mention to you is this, that I found after all of this searching and what in Buddhism they call the way-seeking mind, the mind that is questioning, is this the only way there is to live? Is there some other way to live? And my question was, can I live with a quiet mind? So then there can be, a desire to want to have a quiet mind, and it becomes a goal, and then there's a struggle with that. And like I have said before, it's like when you're in the ocean and you're standing against these strong waves trying to make your way out to go swimming, these waves will knock you over. There's no way that you're going to be able to overpower them, but if you know how to duck under the wave to come out onto the other side, it's called a duck dive. And the mama cat is being fierce with her kittens. I guess she's teaching kids some lessons. You can hear her in the background probably. So if you try to stop the mind with the mind, you will create even more resistance, like coming up against that strong wave in the ocean with your entire body against the wave. You're just going to get knocked over. If you go, that wave coming, you go underneath it, and then come out the other side, that's a very smooth action. So that's what I would like to share with you, some of these concepts. And they're all concepts, and of course we're little dream characters living in a dream world. And this is the lila, this is the play, what we call also samsara. And it's a beautiful, wonderful play. And isn't it great that we have these minds and that we have these abilities to be able to experience something so magnificent as this life? But that mind that creates this suffering also can lead us to our own personal freedom from that, if you will. So, without trying to go into too much of technique, the concept of non-resistance comes up for me. That means a radical acceptance of what is so. And that being, when you do sit and you do what we call zazen, because I got into Zen for a while, and you sit without a gaining idea, and you're just sitting there, being with whatever is. Because life is life is life. It's chop wood, carry water. It really is. So there isn't any kind of magic formula or some secret that I have or that I know that I can impart to you that's somehow going to radically change your life. I certainly don't attest to that, but I can say that from my experiences, learning how to accept what is so is, I don't know, I guess one way to be able to live, that's all. And there's many different ways to be able to live and do this thing that we call life. Mine isn't better, mine isn't right. There is no better, there is no right. But I do know that I personally experience my life without having so much resistance in it as just being a little bit more peaceful. That doesn't mean that anything really changes. Everything still remains the same. What's changing, obviously, is the way that I am perceiving it. So the less resistance, like when the wave is coming at you like this and you go underneath it, this is less resistance. So the less resistance, the more easeful it is. Kitten is really getting walked by mama. So I probably should let you have a look at this over here. So if things are tough, maybe just looking at kittens might make it better. So as I said before, please put some suggestions in the comment fields on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll talk more about this, because that's what I like doing. I like to talk about this. It's fun. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing more from you and sharing more about what my viewpoint is on some of these things. So bye for now.